So what made you move from Chicago?
We moved from Chicago because my dad, at the time, my older brother, which has deceased, he was in his teenager years, so he was like junior in high school. And Chicago was becoming very, very violent. We know now it's off the chain, it's on steroids, but back then we was dealing with the Black Panthers and a lot of the racial issues and a lot of the gangs was forming. And my father didn't want him to be a part of that. He was kind of getting involved in the wrong company, so he wanted to take his family and move to a smaller city, which he's from here. He's from Kansas City. And he wanted to raise his family in he thought was a more safe environment. We know Kansas City's not. It's gotten a little violence now, but back then, Chicago was a lot with the Black Panthers and things like that. So he decided to move us here. So he bought a home and he moved his family here. And I think we moved here in 1968. Yeah, 1968.
So what side of Chicago were you from?
I'm from the south side of Chicago. South side.
Okay. So did you get bullied in school?
No, I didn't get bullied. I remember one time I even punched a bully in the mouth before he got started. And this other guy was walking home. He tried to get tough. I popped him in the mouth real quick too. So it wasn't like I just got jumped all the time and didn't know. If I didn't strike back at you, I was planning. The guy that hit me up the street where I lived, I gave his girlfriend, which I didn't know was his girlfriend, a book for a school class, and talking all that smack, hit me, nothing happened. I walked around there again with a butcher knife and say, I hope he comes out again. If I didn't get you then, I was planning on getting you next time.
All right, so when you moved here, about what age were you when you came here in Kansas City?
I was young. I was around 10 or 11. I was young. I was ending my elementary school, getting ready to go into middle school, getting ready to go into my middle school. So I was young, but it felt like we never left because every year we would go back, every summer, because we loved it so much. We had a lot of family. My mom had her siblings all there. And we would go back every summer just for a visit, for a reunion or something, or we would go to the summer just to stay with our cousins. So I kind of was in Kansas City and yet still in Chicago because we was back there. I can't remember a summer we didn't go back after moving here. If we didn't go there, they came here. So we kept in close contact with Chicago relatives.
My happiest moments in life, when I was young, I liked to walk. It's not as specific, it's just I liked walking. And when I played football, I liked football. I liked playing football. That was my happiest moment as relates to football. When we lost this game to a team that we weren't supposed to win, so people thought, but we were close to beating them. And I didn't know how to play the position of linebacker. The coach really never taught me anything much. He just saw I wasn't afraid to go in there and tackle people. So that got me on the team, really. But I missed a lot of tackles because I didn't keep my head up, which was dangerous on that game, in that particular game. But the next game, I learned how to tackle. I was too close to the line. I backed off the line, learned how to tackle, and I had a lot of tackles in that game. One of my teachers said, Wattree, you played
a heck of a game.
That was my happiest moment in first football. I was into art, yeah. That was something I was pretty good in. And my teacher was Lonnie Powell, and he really took time with me. I like Lonnie Powell. I like art too.
Okay. So what was your high school like here in Kansas City?
Pretty good. It's pretty good. I went to Central High School. I went to Central Junior, and then I went to Central Senior, and graduated in 1974. It was particular high school, you know, we had the basic. It was nice. We learned a lot. We had home economics, which I did take up. We even had religious programs that Youth for Christ that we could participate in, and I did participate in that because I got saved at the age of 15 years old, and I participated in the Youth for Christ program in my high school, and it was not quite like it is now, but I enjoyed my high school years, you know, walking back and forth, made lots of friends, and learned lots of things there.
Were there any activities in high school besides?
I was in Youth for Christ, and I also played basketball, I played volleyball, and I ran track. I love track. I ran track, and I was pretty good at it. I ran track season, and I won a lot of races in track because my brother was a very good track runner and a very good football player, kind of known at Central High School. And he taught me a lot of the things on track. Back then, I ran the 60-yard, which I know they don't even have now. We ran that, and I used to love that. The other I just did, you know, I just played volleyball to be active and played basketball to be active. But I love track. So I did stick to my track. I ran track all the way to my junior year. My senior year, I ended up kind of my later junior year because I was more into church activities and things of that nature.
And that was probably the main problem in my life. I just longed to have the love of a father, which I later on found out, the orphan spirit, but I didn't know then.
Did you grow up hating your father?
At first, not, because when I was little, you always want your father to come home. Then he would come back. As years went along, yes, I did.
Okay.
I say more angry. Anger is the word I think I would say.
Did you have any communication with your father back home?
He'd come by every so often. Then when I got toward the junior high, stuff like that, I said no. I went to visit him, and he lived in California, other places, but when I visited, he lived in California, and it was a disastrous visit.
After high school, I actually took up my love in high school because they offered trades you can take. And so I always loved children. I still do. I always loved, and I wanted to have lots and lots of kids. I love children, and I always loved the elderly. So I took up a class called child care, and I got a degree in it, and I was really good at it. And so my senior year, I didn't even finish my senior year because I had all the credits I needed, so I kind of worked my senior year. I did a half a year my senior year, and I only had like 2 classes of it. And then I worked in the child field, and I loved it, and I love interior decorating. So those were my 2 loves growing up. So I ended up in child care, which it led me for 42 years dealing with children. And, you know, I had my own children in the midst, but I deal with my babies for 42 years, and I just retired in 2017. Still dealing with pre-K and kindergarten children, but that was my love.
I asked him a question. When you see your father, you're going to ask a lot of questions. Why? And all that. And he's going to try to preach to me, which what he was saying was good, but I didn't want to hear it. You're not in my life. You can't enforce it. You're trying to tell me certain things, which were good, to be honest. But you're not there to enforce it, so why are you trying to preach me out? And you're not there. I guess I was just angry, hurt. And before I left, he said,
I can take you and your sister to the top of the bridge and drop you off.
Up into the water, wherever he said. So I walked in there with tears in my eyes and said, he really mean it?